It is time to start the Finance Committee. I'll call the meeting to order, and Becky, would you do the roll?
Sure will. Jim Sheeline,
There.
Jennifer Dallas, Tom Kitson, Mike Book, Nancy Naylor,
Present.
Reed Acree,
Here.
Jason Anderson.
Jason, here.
Well,
Yeah,
nice
You
to meet
are Jason.
that's who I am. Yeah.
Confirmed.
Come on now, give me a little grace.
And we're damn glad to see you.
Put it in the record.
Because if you hadn't have been there, we wouldn't have a
That's
quorum.
right. We'd all be gone.
Anyway, everybody's glad you're here, and we are glad to be here as well. Minutes from last meeting, any additions or corrections? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the minutes, moved by Naylor, seconded by Anderson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Okay, let's see. Public visitors. Jeremy, do you got anything for us?
That's not on the agenda.
Mr. State's Attorney over there, Mr. Charlie Boonstra?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Nothing. Oh, question. I understand you do live in South Dixon Township?
I
Just
do.
as an
Yep.
aside. Do you really?
I do, yep.
Oh, I didn't know
Now
you
that
were a neighbor.
That's out there to.
That's good to
all-
know.
All of our friends and family watching.
That's awesome. I didn't say, this wasn't doxing.
I don't come across bad people or anything, so thank you.
You live in Lee County? It is a big place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you the address later.
Longitude and latitude only.
Reed, do you have anything besides what's on the agenda?
No.
Okay. Paul?
Just wanted to give you a quick update in the treasurer's office. We are within a couple of weeks of going to our tax sale, which will be October 28th. It's on a Tuesday. Everybody is welcome to come to that. It's an open meeting. Well, it's not really a meeting, but, and we are almost through our tax season. We've had a few disgruntled payees here in the last few days or weeks, but we're getting through it, and we should have everything distributed after the tax sale.
Very good. Dean? Good. Keen? Dean and Keen. Michael? Amy's always got something.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Very briefly,
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you a heads up on our data conversion. Our project manager is working sort of behind the scenes with the Tyler Technologies project manager on getting, they're going to work with IT soon to get a data dump, look at our data, start looking at converting it. So we've started, and we have some meetings at the end of the month, I believe, with my office and the state's attorney's office, and our project manager will be coming in to set us up on the test environment for Tyler to look at that.
So who'd we end up, because I think last month you were on the verge of a project manager, but I don't think you had it selected as yet. So who'd
Yes.
we end up with?
County has chosen Brian Brim,
Oh, good.
so he is our project manager.
Awesome. Awesome. So,
So that's where I'm at. That's all I've got.
okay, very good. Anybody have any questions for Amy? Okay, thank you for
Thank
the
you.
update. Appreciate it. All right. Okay, we're down to Treasurer's Monthly Financial Report. Reed?
Good morning, everybody. Nothing too exciting to note. We are on schedule from our county general standpoint. We are right on pace with our revenue projections. We fully expect to meet those. Expense wise, obviously there's some ups and some downs, but we are currently ahead of budget in terms of expenses. We've got a little over 18% left in the remaining year, and we should have about 16.5. So we are ahead. One thing to caution department heads on is October is a 3-pay period month. We usually have about 2 of those a year, but we will be a little hotter on expenses in October. But so just to think about that going forward in October and November, but as long as we do a good job of managing our expenses to budget in the last few months here, we should be in pretty good shape.
Go ahead, Jason. Microphone.
Looking at the general fund going from September of 24 to September of 25, that's a very significant increase. What do you attribute that to?
I guess in which category are you looking at here?
I'm looking at the general fund.
The revenues?
Revenue, yeah.
That's likely a timing issue for our property taxes. If you look at the report, the revenue report, I think it's page 7. If you look at our distributions, we took significantly more distributions over the first 3 distributions this year than in FY '24. I mean, year to date, we still have 2 more distributions. And we've taken in, almost 6.7 million in property tax distributions. And we only had, 6 or 6.8 for general fund total last year. So part of that is a function of when people pay. So our obligation is after our first installment due date, within 30 days, we start making distributions to those taxing bodies.
Yeah.
If we've received more of that money in that first installment date, more people come in and just pay all of it right then, right? We have more to distribute upfront. So I would mostly attribute it to that. But yeah.
And in regards to the tax sale,
Sure.
all of those delinquent bills that were listed in the paper, all of those are going to be for sale?
No.
No.
So
Yeah.
you want
me to
it?
take
I mean, I
that?
could,
No, those are just at that moment in time, September 23rd, I think was the date on that. There were 1,600 parcels in the county that had not paid yet. We are down below 900 as of this morning. And that is attributed to one, maybe because somebody saw their name in the paper and they went, The other one is during that time, we also send out certified letters to every one of those parcels. So that's statutory that we have to do that. Once they get that letter that says, hey, if you don't pay by the 27th of October, it's going to go on a tax sale. Boom, that snaps them into, whoa, I guess I better pay this. Typically, there was 1,612 in that list. It's usually around 1,800. But over half of that are Woodhaven properties. So we're dealing with people who are not really living here. They don't always know what a property tax is because they're either, they're renters from the suburbs or the city. And they know, oh, I got to pay this? Okay. And then they pay it. We end up with about somewhere between 400 and 500 parcels that go to tax sale. And of those, 300 are usually Woodhaven.
Okay.
And then once they go to tax sale, that's where we collect the final amount of money and we do one final distribution. But Reed's spot on in terms of it was a timing issue this year over last year. Last year, this year we've collected more in terms of just overall collections to date than we did almost all of last year. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Sorry, I had a sidebar. Any other questions
No.
in the financials?
Good.
The tipping fees are running strong and the sales tax, I mean, if the sales tax revenue, if we hold the line on, if our department heads hold the line on expenses, like what you're talking about, and with the increase in, we're going to end up
yeah,
fairly strong for the year.
The one thing that I would say with regards to the sales tax numbers, right? I think you do need to look at those in conjunction with the use tax. and where that's at, right? That is significantly down,
Mhm.
but if you look at it in total, we're basically right where our projections were at, for our budget process last year. So whatever additional we're getting in the county sales tax numbers is banking up for that decrease in the use tax as well as the PPRT money. Where we're probably coming out ahead is those basically wash out to what our projections were last year. We're above and beyond in the property safety tax then. So you take all of those in conjunction with the property safety tax amounts, we are ahead.
Mhm. And that's good news because, with that reduction, because I think that some of that local use tax reduction was coming after we had passed the budget last year.
Yeah.
And it's like, where are
I mean,
we
it's
going to
gonna be
make
about-
up?
It's going to be about half of what we had previously gotten in the past.
Right.
So that, kind of a scary at first, but then to see the numbers kind of flush out in the county sales tax numbers was,
So Reed,
supporting, yeah.
we've had all this development retail development out of the gateway, out
Yeah.
the toll road. And has the county been asked to rebate any sales tax as an economic development incentives?
Not,
Any sales tax?
not to my knowledge. I mean, I don't know.
No? No?
We have not been asked to do that. I would imagine that is more done at like a municipality level than like a county
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah,
But-
because
Yeah.
yeah,
So
'cause the
then
city-
the other question is how do you, when you have all that new development happening, how do you get kind of an understanding of what the sales tax revenue is going to be on all that new development? How do you start to estimate that?
You got to
It's
remember,
hard.
yeah,
I
and,
mean-
and remember in the county, we're only going to see basically the 1/4% of that because it's within a municipality.
Right.
The other 1%. So if you look at state sales tax, it's 6 1/4.
Right.
5% goes to the state. 1 1/4 is then split between the municipality and the county. Well, if it's within the municipality, it's 1% is going to go to the municipality, 25% is
Yeah,
going
but
to
our
go
tax rate.
0.25. Well, yes, but that's city tax and then there's the public safety tax, right?
Right.
So we're only for sales tax purposes, we're probably only seeing the 0.25%.
The
in
sales
that.
The public sales tax, that's the jail?
That's well, it's for public safety. I mean,
It was.
But the public safety tax covers
everything.
the entire
Yeah.
county. It doesn't matter
Correct.
whether it's in the city or not. So we
Correct.
get that
Right.
1% plus the
Exactly.
quarter.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
0.5%.
yeah,
Our public safety tax is a 0.5%.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm still in school board mode where
Yeah, yeah.
the facilities
Yeah,
tax.
so yes, that public
Yeah,
safety
yeah,
tax
yeah.
is covering everything in the county. Everything that was drawn off of sales tax, a portion of that 0.5% is going to public safety. But just that 6 1/4, they all call it state of Illinois, but of that, we're really only seeing that quarter. Yeah, yeah. So
And that can't be changed. That's a state.
that, yeah, the only thing that could change is if you did if the voters allowed us to add another whatever quarter, 50%, whatever into that sales tax for new revenue, right?
That's what happened when you had the referendum of the public safety.
Correct.
Yes, and
Correct.
there are other, it's not only available for public safety. There are other statutes that allow you to do that. But yes, it would have to be voted on as a
But
referendum
that half
to
a cent,
pass.
when that half a cent was proposed through referendum, wasn't it just for the jail? That's how it was.
Yeah,
It was proposed as a public
Public
safety
safety.
tax as a whole, but its purpose at that time was for the new build of our new
Yeah,
law
and
enforcement
to-
center.
I'm assuming we would have, we had to do that, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to get those bonds.
That's right.
Right, so that's to
So-
pay the bonds.
Yes, but at some point in time, those bonds are going to be fully extinguished, right? And then that public safety money
Is
needs
going
to be spent on public safety
services.
stuff,
Yeah,
but
right.
is available for all public safety expenses.
And that's primarily the sheriff's department.
No, I
Not
mean, it's the sheriff's
necessarily.
department, it's EMA, there's,
Charlie's
Animal
office, Amy's office.
Animal control.
Yeah,
Animal control.
anything to do with public safety, McLean County actually has the exact similar tax. And they use it for their circuit clerk,
Portion of it.
expenses, a portion of it. They use it for the sheriff's department,
now,
anything to do with public safety.
right, and, the sheriff's department is going to be
Yeah.
the largest piece of that year over year. We know
Correct.
that, but.
And if you look at our audited financial statements, I mean, we don't present it this way at our monthly meetings, right? But our financial statements are not like a traditional business's financial statements. All of our expenses are broken into functional categories. So everything is going to be, you're not going to have a line item for wages and supplies or anything like that. You're going to have, no, this money, these expenditures were for this function of government. So general government is going to be like your treasurer's office, your county clerk's office, your assessor's office, general administration stuff. You're going to have public safety. That's going to be your sheriff's department, animal control, whatever. Judicial and courts. That in certain ways, like where is the distinction between public safety and judicial and courts? I think some people classify things differently. That's maybe a little bit more of a subjective one in terms of how things are classified functionally, but public health is another function that we have. But so that's a good place to look at all of those.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions over the financials? Okay, thank you, Reed. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Insurance Committee, Ms. Naylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I really don't have a report to give because we did not have a meeting, but I do just have one piece of information that Susan just shared with me. Actually, I have two. This year's sign up for the biometrics is the highest it's ever been. 88% of the employees signed up. So that's really awesome.
That is awesome.
It's very good. It was 83% last year. And then I'll also just say that Susan and I have discussed our upcoming meetings, and the primary purpose of those meetings will be to review the current health plan like we discussed before. We've done that every 5 years. It's hard to believe that 5 years have gone by and we did this before, but that is in the plan for next year. So there will be more information forthcoming on that. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all I
All
have.
right. Thank you, Nancy. All right. And then everybody have a chance to read the monthly sheriff's report. I have not, but I know, shame on me. I'll read it later. Was there anything in there that anybody wanted to comment on? Clay always seems to put some good events in there. I'll look forward to reading that later. All right. Down to new business, and we have oh, wait a minute, I think I skipped over something. I did. Approval of the monthly Joseph E. Meyer resolutions. We have 20 resolutions this month. And I entertain the motion. We'll get the motion on the table. If there's any questions, we'll go from there. Moved by Reed, seconded by Nancy. Discussion. Any questions in regards to the Joseph E. Meyer resolutions? And this motion is to move this to executive. Becky, make sure. Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. All right, we're down to new business, appellate prosecutor resolution. Charlie, is this yours? Yes, it is.
Yes, so this should be a pretty standard one that you guys have seen over the last couple of years. It happens every year around this time where the appellate prosecutor's office is asking for a resolution to be passed by the county board saying that they are in agreement with the services of the appellate prosecutor for any of the appeals that come from our county, any advice that they give us in terms of any case law or anything that we should be looking at when issues arise, or special prosecutions that we need to have them appointed on. If there's any questions on it, I think it is fairly standard. We talked about the increase during the budget time, but there will not be an increase this year. It'll remain the 18,000 that it was as
Oh.
last year.
Okay, that's good. This is just information, so we don't need to take a motion on this?
Correct. It just needs to be put on the full county board for their vote.
Okay, all right. Any questions for Charlie in regards to the resolution? Hearing none, we'll move on. And the next thing we have is the draft budget ordinance. So Reed, I
Sure.
will
So
let you
we're-
lead it off.
we are essentially in the same relative position as I think we presented last time we talked. There's been some minor adjustments up and down, but we're basically in the same spot. So I don't know if there's any particular areas that we want to follow up on that there were questions on either last month or we thought of questions since then, but we essentially we have a balanced budget. All our transfers have not changed. So if there's any questions?
No, I'm all good. Got mine answered.
Good. Jason?
Just transfers.
Yeah.
You say the amount of, that you're transferring this year is comparable to what you did last year?
No, not necessarily. I guess the transfers haven't changed since our last meeting, I guess was what I was implying. I guess the big transfer that is new that we have not ever done before, I think, is the public safety one, where we've talked about that, where we're going to use a portion of that public safety money to offset some of sheriff's office expenses, right?
Are those one-time expenses? No?
I mean, some of them, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're asking for 2 new deputies, right? So those are gonna be ongoing and probably the largest portion of those increases. So I think we talked a little bit about, right, where that public safety money number is coming in at. Just to reiterate, we've got about a little over $1 million in bond payments that we'll have to make next year. So $1 million of the 1.75 transfer amount is going to go pay those bonds, which is consistent every year probably since we've had those bonds. And then the remaining portion of that 1.7 million is going to go offset the public safety expenses within the county general. I fully anticipate us getting more in public safety, in that public safety fund. I think it'll probably be closer to 2 million, maybe even a little over that next year in public safety tax money. My plan is to hold up that excess money in public safety for the next 3 years and kind of do that practice where we're not transferring all of the public safety money out, so that we'll be able to pay off the balloon payment bonds that we have coming due in 2029.
When will the bonds be totally paid off?
2036. So there's 2 sets of bonds. One set of bonds has a balloon payment in 2029. I think it's March 1st of 2029, and it's about 1.8 million. So this year, we're probably going to save around $250,000 in that public safety fund. Next year, we're going to save another $300,000 in that public safety fund. That's going to continue, if we continue that practice over the next 3 years, as well as maintain that interest that we get in that fund, I fully expect that we're going to be pretty close to being able to just pay off the bonds when that balloon payment comes due. So then that'll, essentially clear up another $250,000 a year, $300,000 a year. Our bond payment will go down to about $650,000 a year. And then we'll continue to pay that off until 2036, where then when those bonds are fully paid off, all of that public safety money in the public safety fund will be available
And
to,
those bonds are at what rate?
they're between 2.5 and 3.
Yeah.
So,
Not a debt you want to pay off in a
No.
hurry.
yeah,
No, no,
I
no.
mean, just for you guys' knowledge, we're getting well above that in our CD and just our deposit portfolio right now at our local institutions. So yeah, again, I want to save that money as much as possible. And even our money that we have with North Shore and Charles Schwab, where we have a bond portfolio, we're getting, closer to probably almost 200 basis points above that. So yeah, I don't want to pay off any of that early. And I do think with where we are right now and with rates, like obviously we could, when we get to that point, if we wanted to refinance those bonds, we could. I just don't think we'll end up having to go higher on those rates. And if we don't have to, I'd rather just pay those off.
So it's a wonderful thing because, we're able to maintain that debt schedule. And at the same time, we have when you look at the capital budget, we have those projects on the capital budget docket that have to be done at some point in time. And we're chipping away at that as well. But that, having that public safety money to defray, help over with the general revenue is helping us, with the capital as well.
And you don't bond for capital projects, you budget in advance for those.
That's what our tradition has been.
Yes.
And we've been able to, had we not had ARPA, and even though I hated going from a federal deficit standpoint, I hated that money went out there. But from a parochial perspective here, ARPA was a wonderful thing for us because we were able to do things and pay for things that we would have been obligated for that we probably would have had to bond out for because it had to been done. And so therefore we were able to avoid that. But that doesn't say down the road, we have the obligation of the highway department construction that we have coming up, and that'll that's going to demand resources that we're going to have to move some things around here in the future, and who knows what's going to happen in this building or across the street. That's what happens with maintaining buildings. Yeah. So, and our new building is getting older every year, just like us all.
The new one.
Yeah. Any other questions or any other discussion points you guys want to talk about?
Ready to go.
Guys? Anything? Okay. Very good. Well, I will entertain a motion to move the draft budget to executive to be put on the agenda for this month's meeting. Moved by Naylor, seconded by Anderson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. All right, let's move on to the levy ordinance.
Reed and I could both take this on, but essentially, what you see in front of you from last year, we're roughly looking at, not roughly, but we are looking at about $441,506 increase. That is about 4.67% over last year. Showing essentially modest increase, but we're trying to make sure that we're balancing our needs with the sensitivity of increases to the taxpayers, right? So we really looked at that and tried to be as conservative as possible. The tax rate is going to be at 0.8242 per $100 of EAV. So that's up slightly from the 0.7946 in FY25. So again, if you look at the levy ordinance, that's an estimated annual increase on a tax bill of $13.03. As you continue to scroll through the funds, you can see that the corporate fund, which again is essentially supporting our county operations, that is proposed to be an increase of 5.4%, totaling just over 8 million. The county highway is 3%, county bridge 0.4%. We have a negative change on tuberculosis and federal aid of negative 2% and negative 0.1%. County health is staying flat. Veterans assistance is a slight increase at 0.2. Again, what's worth noting that we take into consideration all the new construction valuations that were on the prior year tax roll as we're working this through. That's kind of how we're able to increase, above and beyond some of what we would normally traditionally do. That new construction valuation was significantly less than the previous year's levy, and which is okay. We do anticipate increases to that in the incoming years here. So that's not a horrible thing at the moment. But again, compared to FY25, 7.77%, increase, we're looking at that 4.67. And again, that's just kind of the reflection of some moderate growth, and trying to be as fiscally responsible as possible.
Did we have any changes in new property? I know we were going to look at that, for this meeting. So did we have any changes?
Not significant ones. I think our new EAV value is estimated to be just shy of 10 million. And for perspective, our last year's number was like 45 or 50 million. So significantly less. And that new construction amount is what allows us to go above and beyond the CPI number, which is 2.9 this year.
Right. But no truth in taxation here.
No
Will be
truth in
required
taxation
in
hearing.
December.
That is correct.
And that's
So-
probably more of a function of the CPI number being lower than anything else.
Sure. All right. Any questions in regards to the levy? Okay, hearing none, entertain a motion to move the levy to executive to be placed onto the board agenda. Moved by Naylor, seconded by Reed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Have no executive session for today. The only thing I had, I was showing my sidebar with Charlie, and I've gotten a number of these, and this is, and I'm putting this out, talking about this because if I'm getting them, that means everybody's getting them. And that is, I got and just as we were sitting here, Illinois DMV final notice. Enforcement begins October 18th. Our records indicate that as of today, you still have an outstanding traffic ticket. I haven't had a traffic ticket in 4 years.
Scam.
Now, I don't want you to look back 10 years, but in the last 4 years, I haven't had a ticket. And here I'm getting a scam deal, and I showed it to our circuit clerk, and I showed it to Charlie, and just people be aware, a lot of scams out there. You hear it all the time that there is, but the scams are prevalent. I asked Charlie, I said, how do we stop this? How is there a methodology? Because these, I think of the people that see that, it's just horrible that they prey on people, especially elderly, especially elderly. Just a bad deal. So anyway, please be aware, everybody back home, be aware that scams are out there looking for you.
Before you adjourn, I just want to make a comment.
Sure.
I've only been on the county board for a short period of time and a short period of time on the finance committee, but I want to say this, having been a resident of Lee County for almost 45 years, and coming from the outside into this body, two things are so amazing to me. One is the scope of what county government is doing, that the average citizen has no clue whatsoever, other than you have a sheriff's department. But the amount of services and the things that we budget for are something that I really feel like the county board, maybe Jeremy, this falls to you, needs to educate the public as to really how you do what you do. And then the second thing is, the level of professionalism at this county level, at this county board, at this organization. My father served on the Whiteside County Board back in the 70s. And talk about dysfunction. I think there were 28 members, of course, like big county boards have been. But Reed and Jeremy and Paul and the whole organization, I can't say enough of your level of professionalism and the fiscal responsibility that you take and the fiscal conservative values that we have. And I think the success of this county will be forever for a long, long time. I think there's a lot of potential for us to do economic development wise, to do, my world was economic development for almost 30 years. And the pie has to get bigger. We can't go to the taxpayer and ask them to keep shelling out more. We got to grow the economic development pie. And I really believe the potential is there. And with the team that we have here and the level of professionalism, I think we're so blessed by you all. And again, I've only been here a short time, but it's been very, very impressive to see what you do and how well you do it. And so kudos, really. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Well said, Mr. Anderson. Thanks you. Appreciate that. Anything else for the good of the cause? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Naylor, second by Reed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Thank you, everyone.